Well, hey there team, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the Great War Western Front. I've been really looking forward to this. I actually played a bit of a demo pre-release build, but I don't believe a video made it onto the channel because I spent quite a lot of time in tutorials and figuring it all out. It's a very overwhelming game. But once you get the rhythm, you get it. So, you know, too long didn't read. The front load this is really cool, and in a kind of miserable way, it simulates quite well trench warfare. It's just a horrible, depressing slog. So this game might wear people out and drain them. I'm not necessarily saying emotionally, but just the nature of just meat grinder after meat grinder. It's draining, but it's still great. It's as good as you could possibly want it to be for this subject material. So this is coming out of Frontier Foundry, right? Which is the offshoot of Frontier Developments. Probably most well known for things like Elite Dangerous, the Jurassic World Evolution games, right? They're their big things, Planet Zoo, but then they have some smaller stuff which we've looked at over the years, things like F1 Manager, which is awesome, Chaos Gate, Stranded, Alien Dawn, and then this, of course. So generally speaking, everything they release I like, and this is their more, dare I say, indie branch, even though they're kind of still an indie studio. If they're AA, then this is their indie offshoot. What's the name of these guys? Petroglyph Games. I looked them up. They did the Command & Conquer remastered collection, which is great, you know, but I mean, it is just sort of a remastering, you know, it's not exactly original work. They did Grey Goo, which I never played, but I always wanted to from way back in the day. So they've got a few things under their belt in this sort of space, but not necessarily anything sort of world defining. Okay, so that's the setup. That's the pedigree. That's what we're dealing with. What is this game? It's sort of like Total War in that it has at the sort of meta level, it has two split game modes. One is the line of scrimmage and managing your overworld unit movement, much like Total War or Total Warhammer or whatever you want to call it. And then you've got the actual real-time battle that plays out where it's attack and defend trench warfare, and it's a lot of artillery and a lot of dead men. Okay, so we'll jump in. Allied nations, might as well do them, but we could also play Central Powers, I suppose. It's a different sort of time, I guess, in World War I. Allies campaign. Now you can choose where you start. Something that might strike you, the tutorial is actually very long and kind of narrative as well. It's kind of involved. To be honest, it's a cool tutorial, but it goes for a very long time, teaching you all the stuff, all the minutiae. The thing is that it's fairly future tech compared to starting a campaign from scratch, which I'm all about. That's kind of cool, but they've got all these really cool troops and tanks and flamethrowers and all this sort of stuff in the tutorial. And then when you play the campaign, you got nothing because you have to tech tree. So, you know, it's one of those humble beginnings sort of things, which if you know anything about World War I, that was a big part of it. Everyone was so enthusiastic to get into the war because, you know, it was all very much honor-bound war up until that time, and then they came to realize how horrible it is when you just shell the crap out of each other. I think that was one of the first bottlenecks in World War I. Like, I haven't studied it in a long time, but was like literally they were going through all the shell reserves, all the nations. They just ran out of you know, artillery ammo really quickly. So supply chain and logistics is huge in this game. Strategic front line. The onset of war in August 14 was viewed with confidence by the peoples of Europe. Few imagine how long disastrous a great war could be. Well, that's kind of what I just said then anyway. And most believed the war was a necessity to defend against the might of their oppressors. Many had a sense of patriotism and positivity, and most believed the war would be over within a few months. Yeah, exactly. Like, they totally had no idea what modern warfare would look like. By December, it had begun to set in that the war wouldn't be over anytime soon.
With the death of the Archduke,
oh wow, yeah, cool. I mean, not
chaos.
cool, but we're going into it.
Nations honoring treaties and alliances forged years before are now plunged into a conflict they cannot avoid, sparked by a single gunshot.
Yeah, if you don't know much about World War I, it's worth investigating. It's very popular to make it good guys versus bad guys, World War II sort of stuff, right? But World War I was a little bit more complicated.
The Great War is about to begin.
Yes. I like this art.
General, sir, we have word from General Haig.
Yep.
The BEF have successfully crossed the channel and halted the German advance.
Well, that's a good
The
start.
Germans have established trenches along the northern crest. Machine guns and artillery barrages are proving far too lethal for open warfare. That and they have us trumped on heavy weaponry. Ours cannot stand up to their quantity, caliber, or range.
Our counter-offensive had them pushed back from the Marne. What of our efforts to encircle them?
They have the higher ground here, sir.
Oh no, Anakin.
What of the French?
We have retaken the eastern tip of Chemin-Tétan, but further progress has been negligible. We are at an impasse out there, I'm afraid.
Send word to our men to entrench also.
Yeah.
Sir, I fear we may not have the experience for this type of warfare.
Have heavy artillery rushed over from England. We cannot risk another retreat like at Mons. It looks like we'll be settling in for the long haul. We must push back into Belgium. If we don't outflank the enemy, then we will be at a stalemate.
Yes.
Thus the Western Front was established.
Oh wow, they're getting right into it. I skipped over this before because I knew I'd watch it here.
The great nations would make their stand. The fate of millions was now in the hands of a few.
So a huge focus of this, as you would hope, as you would suspect, is attrition, right? Like your battles aren't always going to be stomp victory with a 20 stack Total War army, that sort of thing. I always worry about these genres, and I kind of bounce off Total War a bit because if you can auto-resolve, why don't you auto-resolve? Like, it's one of those things, you know, I almost wish there was no auto-resolve in these games. Or they just committed to it and there was no ground combat. It sort of splits the game strangely. Anyway, there's a splash you can read. Okay, cool. So here's the setup. So we've got Calais, but we've also got Paris down here, and that's where we draw a lot of our units when they spawn. You can't really build units. You can't spawn units yourself. We've got our line. I mean, it's all very skeleton crew pretty much along the front. Look, they've got, oh my God, look at all this crap that they've got back there. That's crazy. Yeah, right. Verdun, looking pretty rough up there. And then, God, how do you say that? Ypres? Oh my God. I'm an Australian, I don't need to know that. Okay, so what's this down here? Unread events? Demoralize them. Okay, defeat 10 German infantry companies. I'll put that on my list of things to do. So at the moment, we have a purchase menu, which is thin. And essentially all this is a conversion from national gold reserves into supply, because supply is a huge part of building your fortifications pre-battle. Spawning your troops uses supply. Firing and building artillery guns uses supply. Right, and for reference, like firing an artillery gun might cost 9 supply, and a company of men costs 3, right? So supply is big about keeping the guns screaming, okay? But all these things that I can't build or do, we can do a bit of region intel, right? Reveal all structures as well as current supply levels of enemy regions adjacent, right? Because if you have a look here, it'll tell us region core, there's 4, but we don't know much more than that. So you're very much blind going in. We've got some troopers back in Paris, and then we've got we've got a bucket load up here in Calais. So, oh yeah, maybe this is this has got to be our breakthrough point for sure. Now you can't really attack from multiple angles at the same time, but what you can do is you could lead an attack like that and then fight it and then fatigue them. Oh, they've already got fatigue. Oh, okay, see how they're flaming. Ah, right, they've already got a bit of fatigue in there. So sort of trying to chip down their morale with little poke attacks is kind of the go. So it sort of works as encircling. Also, their structures persist. So the longer the battle goes on, the more crap you build, it just keeps going and going, and everyone gets more and more entrenched, which is great, but also miserable. But the angle that you attack from actually changes the battlefront that you're fighting on. So if you keep fighting on the same front, you're going to keep going through their same recycled defenses, if that makes sense. Now we've got a tech tree, and this is incredibly overwhelming. And I haven't really looked at the top end tech because I find it overwhelming. Okay, so, what's this though? Reduces the cooldown for heavy field artillery by 20 seconds. That's actually outrageously good. That's very tempting. What does this do? Unlock supply depot. That is also quite tempting. Aeroplanes, yes. In my experience, they don't tend to have a lot of airplanes in the early going on. And then you've got this, which is, what's this? Soldier health. So the circle is sort of more of a passive. This is more of an ability. And these are structures. Okay, sure, whatever. Well, how about, look, let's increase the cooldown on our guns. And what I might do is unlock the storage tent for now. And if we have a look up here, oh, here we go, long range death. We've had cannons since the previous century, but these new guns fire farther and with more accuracy. Having guns that can harm the enemy while remaining completely out of their firing range gives us a great advantage. And we've got some national will, so that's nice. So this is your health bar, right? If you lose all your morale, it's game over. Each of these areas have morale associated with them. The star rating, you can see here, regional national will value 6, 12. I believe as you build it up and stack more troops into it and you turn it into more of a high value target, it gets more stars added, right? So building yourself up to fail could probably be a thing as well. Oh my God, look at that. That's just savage over there. Anyway, we're going to focus on inroads up here in Calais, right? So Ypres, I'm going to build the new supply depot. Now you have a look here, this is the regional supply, is the sum of all supply carried by the units in the region. This value is refreshed each battle, so that's a lot, 1,000 supply. It's dictated by the local region, but you have this concept. Oh, does this already have a supply depot? Interesting. You have this concept called the supply pipeline. Is the amount of supply the region can draw from the global supply bank each battle, which is this over here, 2,000. The region must have a supply depot and pull from the global bank. The amount is limited by the size of the depot, right? So we will build a depot there. And while that cost us 600, it only gave us 400. So if I want to, I can overdraw another 400 supply from the global kitty. And like I said, supply is king. You know what I might do? I might just load all these blokes up.
We have new orders.
I'm just going to send everyone into there. Interesting. I don't know if I get the supply until they've turned up. And you can only really spawn, so there's a cap of how many dudes you can have on the field at once, and there's a time limit. So there is a limitation, to be honest, to just stacking like that. Anyway, that'll do. Well, let's do some intel. There we go, success. Region intel is underway. So they're sort of investigating. But we might just, I mean, where will I take my troops from here? If I right click, will it move the whole lot of them? No, it won't move any of them. But if you right click, you can move a stack like that. I don't know, maybe we send them to Verdun. Verdun's looking a bit dicey, right? Nice. Now, it would seem it's not explained explicitly, but I can keep intelling until I fail, in which case I can't intel at all. It's kind of got a bit of a Blood Bowl thing. You know, when you trip over, you lose your turn. Don't know what to tell you. Maybe you're, like, what's it costing me? 200 something? Deutschmarks or something? Failed, right? Cool. So now if I try and do it here, no bingo, right? So that's kind of cool. I like that. Anyway, so that's pretty much a turn. We could attack. What I might do is wait for this blob of menacing boys to rock up. So we're just going to end turn, and then the bad guys, they get their turn. We get a research point. We get some gold reserves. Let's see, what can we spend our new mixed lollies on? Infantry, increased health. Oh, we're going to need that, because I'm sending the boys over the top. All right, so let's try and break out of here. What if I go Ghent? Major loss. Geez, that's rough. 6 cores defending versus all my stuff. You also get morale issues, disunity of command, which you can circumvent. It's because we're allied and we have different languages and all that. So if you've got a blob with everyone speaks the same language, you don't have really morale problems quite as much. Dirty French ruining everything. Likely auto-resolve, likely outcome. Yeah, cool. Oh my god, look at the stack they've got there. Major loss. 9? Alright, how do you say that? Oudenarde. Let's attack them. See, 16 guns? That's overkill. That's... What are you doing, Skull? Who are these blokes? Look at these blokes. Hang on. Hang on, I need to know what's going on here. What sort of units do I have here? Canadians? Yuck. Indian Infantry Corps? Oh, they're like little Gurkha soldiers. Yeah. Yeah, and so they give you, see the allotment, it says 1 cannon, right? That's something that I can build. Oh, what's down here? Unread events. Germany warns Americans. Oh, right. Oh, no spoilers. Give them pain. Reduce enemy national will by 20. Okay, so you get these sort of nothing quests, and that's fine. Yeah, so again, all these, that gives me the capacity to build a cannon, right? It's probably a little bit overkill. So what we could do is move some troops around to different spaces. But for the purpose of this video, we're just going to pile all in. I'm going to engage, even though it says auto-resolve likely. That's interesting. This thing narrows. I've seen it narrow. So it's saying victory is likely, but over a broad, you know, it might be maybe just victory versus a stomp. And then total available supply, core supply. Oh, okay. And before I go into it, 2,900. That's from all the dudes that rocked up. So that's pretty wild. 3,000 supply. We're not going to have a supply problem. That's for sure. Right. So I've got 3 core, or they've got 3 cores, and I've got 1 billion. Again, that doesn't guarantee success. You can also stalemate. I believe there'll be probably, I guess it depends on the square, right? Or hex. But there'll be like 2 victory points. Oh, maybe it's dictated by the stars. I don't know. That I'm not 100% sure of. Oh, look, they've got 3 victory points. Interesting. Well, my bad. The one I was fighting on before had 2. Right, so essentially what you got to do, you got to, oh, okay, I can see their little goobers in there. Probably, look at them. Look at all these dead men waiting for their bullet. Essentially, you need to clear out the proximity around that, right? As long as there's any dudes holding it, it won't start to cap. And a total victory would be me taking all 3 of these victory points in the time limit, right? Which is, well, I shouldn't, never say never, Scarlet. Never say never. Okay, so what do we got here? We've got deploy troops, so we've got all these boys that we can choose from. Oh my goodness, look at them all. Look at this camp and that, it's very cool. Look how nice and neat and tidy the area is before I blow it to bits. You can have up to 30 units, but you don't want just infantry, to be honest. You can build more trenches, and at the moment all I have is a basic firing trench, which gives grants target immunity from most rifle fire and light protection from artillery and tanks, right? So that's what these blokes will have as well. That's their mirror, is these trench. So I can't hurt them with infantry, right? You just got to send them over the top with their knives. You've got to belt the crap out of them with artillery. And then you've got this, which is a comms trench, which is not really a trench you can man, but they might have some set up actually. Wow, they really have nothing, do they? Yeah, it's a great way to transit between trenches. You move fairly fast. Anyway, but here's the big bloody piece. MG nests are an absolute nightmare when you're assaulting against. Contains a heavy machine gun, highly effective against infantry, vulnerable to infantry grenade attacks. Oh yeah, well, if you can get there. So they'll probably have MGs set up somewhere. Not that I can see. Ah, interesting. But we're probably not going to set up MGs because we're going all in. We're attacking them. They can push back on us, so you just got to be careful you don't have no defenses. The AI is not stupid. And then we've got these balloons that we can put up. I mean, let's plonk one there. How close can I get this one? Let's plonk one there. But X, I don't know if I'm going to be able to... I'll plonk one there anyway. Now you can see they're using supply, but they're not using unit allotment. And remember we were talking about all those companies were giving me the ability to build guns? Look, I can build 16 heavy field artillery, which is just disgusting. Can I build this in such a way that I can hit every trench position? It looks like the answer is yes. Now obviously this is quite close to my front. I have to be careful that the enemy doesn't just crack the sads and overrun me, right? But I'm going to build a bunch of these. Oh, that's disgusting. Now you've got these lighter ones, which are more about suppression. And they're kind of handy dandy as well, but they have a shorter range. Oh yeah, I could put them right out here. Geez, that's really big swinging, Scarlet. Am I not allowed to... Is that too close to the... Okay, I guess that's... Bugger it, let's do this. Oh yeah, I can put him there. Oh, it wouldn't let me put there, but it'll let me put there. So what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing, you nut job? Oh yeah, I'll put one here. So I think I've got 5 apiece. That's excessive, and it can hit all emplacements, which is, again, it's excessive. What do we got? 120. We're not going to go through all these dudes, man. We've got British, elite British, Canadian, Indian. Oh, okay, so they get Gurkhas. Gurkha base infantry are less effective in the French climate, but Corps gains Gurkha raiders without research. Okay, that's cool. Special infantry. We've got French, home advantage. The Belgians are unbreakable. Okay. Crack shot. Infantry have a 10% additional rifle and vision range for the British. Yeah, okay. Right. Well, the French are cheap. We're putting them in. Oh, actually, you know what we might do is we'll man with British, because you have to, in the pre-deployment, everyone's cheaper, and you have to spawn them into the trenches. I might just man every trench. I don't know if I need to man the HQ trench, to be honest. It's a bit weird. Oh, and that's 30. That's max chickens. Okay, that's interesting. There's really no trenches or anything over here. It might be in my best interest to, even just to show it off, is, look, you know, we'll set up a line of trenches like this. And then we'll get like a transit trench. Oh, okay, we'll put 2 there. So they can move freely between the trenches a lot better, right? So that should give you a bit of an idea. I don't know, maybe we'll bung a few more trenches over here. I'm going through the supply though, holy heck. Okay, cool. How much did the guns cost? 90 a piece. All right, so we're finally set up. Maybe we can we do pre-stage grouping? 1, 2, 3. Really? You're not gonna let me select these? Okay, that's fine. All right, begin battle. Off we do. You know how to shoot. You're quite ready to shoot. The chances are you won't have to shoot. Oh, okay. Roger. All right, let's group our guns into little things, and we'll put these into 2. Right. Morale 95%. Cover 40%. Okay, cool. We're gonna raise our balloons. Up they go. They're little cars attached to them, and see what we can see. Whee, here we go. Oh wow, that is chockers. However, yeah, they don't have any MGs. They've got MGs back here, but they don't have them here. All right, so we're gonna beat the living crap out of these dudes with some artillery. Yeah, let them have it, boys. Very British. Belt them. Belt them, boys. Alright, and what we might do is we're going to... Oh, wow, look at them go. Look, alright, what do we got here? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Perfect. Going over the wall, boys. So we don't have smoke, or you can get like rolling artillery. There's all sorts of really cool stuff that we just don't have, basically. Alright, so we're going to push in. They generally just auto-attack. Oh, wow, look at them go. Alright. Maybe we get some suppression going with the small cannons.
Suppression barrage ordered. Be ready, boys. Suppress at that location. Position ready for fire. Suppression fire ordered. The barrage. Load them up. Load light suppression shells.
Oh, you know what? We can squeeze another thing in there. Pound them. That's why we have the supply. It's there to be used. Get in there, boys. Oh, they're starting to throw a bit back. Come on, lads, get amongst it. Oh, yeah. Oh, I've timed it all right. Nice, boys. Get in there. Get in there!
Stand by for orders. Take fire in positions.
Why do I have a random American in there?
Ready on the fire step.
Get into the trenches! Oh, they're mangling some of me lads. So I've lost a few units, but I think maybe we'll get some French in. Now they'll come in from the closest appropriate spawn point, which apparently the game reckons is over there. Okay, sure. Alright, so these guys are getting hammered. See how they're just getting mangled out in the open? So what you want to do, now that we hold trenches, you actually have... I can pause just to explain. This, see the one with the little crosshair? He's the active company firing in the trench. The other ones are sort of sitting back, right? You don't have two of them firing at once. So what you can do is hit that to switch position. You basically put your sexier unit in the front. Like that sort of thing, right? To hold the trench, because they will likely, they may well counterattack on us. Who do we want to get in here? Let's get some Gurkhas. 30 supply. Use grenades against all targets, faster and more protected. Can attack infantry in the trenches from open ground. Highly effective against emplacements and tanks. Oh my god. Like, I love Gurkhas. Gurkhas, read about them. They're great. Can I guess I could bring them up from here, right? That's probably safer. Yes, I got the little accent as well. That's so good. Anyway, so what we'd probably do is, if you go like this, and that sounds a lot like they're going over the wall, that whistle, but they should use the trenches to fight through. There we go. Get in there, get them. So you force hand-to-hand combat. And that's where things like those Gurkhas and that, you know, it seems like there's more savage, stabby blokes, which are more appropriate.
We have new orders. Attention.
Now, it does get a little, I find it gets a little fiddly, because sometimes they're not smart enough to see the path. Like, if I tell them to move over to that trench, they might just say, bugger it, I'm getting out and running, which obviously isn't really the move.
We need to hold this position.
Yeah, get in there, boys. What are these blokes doing? Holy heck.
We have new orders. On the way.
Oh, these are the French. Yuck. So who's doing this? Oh, that's grenades, I think. Is it? I'm not shelling them. Oh, that's them shelling me. Alright, so they're... Okay. Yeah, right, that makes sense.
Set position.
You know, I'd probably blow this up so they can stop looking at me. This thing doesn't do a lot of damage. Oh, here they come. Look at this. They're not having it. So now the game is to sort of try and hold the trenches, because they will counterattack. So we're capping this. We've capped that, so that'll go towards our victory. Is this okay? This is a transit trench. You can't hold that. So at the moment we're pretty good. So maybe we consider fighting in from a different angle now. What do we got here? Oh, we got a bunch of dudes in the center.
Ready yourselves.
What about we send them over there? 2, 4, 6. I guess they're not going to attack here. Famous last words.
Attention.
Let's see.
On the line.
Just got to keep an eye on it. We've got our balloons up now. Aeroplanes play a big part of protecting and shooting down balloons and all that. We didn't buy aeroplanes, but that was one of the things I could have gotten. But I think at the beginning, all they can do is dogfight. They can't really target things. Okay, look at this. This is much worse. They've got an MG there. Okay.
Ready for fire orders. Ready for
I need to look up whatever the shortcut is
Load them up.
for
Prep for barrage.
For barrage. Maybe I should do that now, actually. Options, controls. Increase speed. Display firing arcs. Oh, that's kind of cool. Spacebar. Unit special ability. Nah, I was hoping it would be like some sort of obvious hotkey or something. It might be in there somewhere. Whatever.
Set position. Load for area barrage. Targets. Teams ready. Check coordinates for barrage. Fire. We surrender. Be ready, boys. Set for barrage.
Who's surrendering?
Fire on that.
Some of my dudes are surrendering because they're just getting shelled. No, not good enough. What can I do? Do I have any blokes in the trenches in reserve? I don't really, do I? I don't know, let's get some more French in.
On a de nouveaux ordres. On a de nouveaux ordres.
Alright. Put them in.
En position de tir.
Get in there, Gurkhas. You savages. Alright. Let's go, boys.
We have new orders.
Over the top. Hit that.
Ready for fire. Ready for start the barrage. Load them up. Prep for barrage. Fire all guns. Set position. Load for area barrage. Targets. Teams check coordinates for barrage. Be ready, boys. Set for barrage. Fire on that position. Ready for fire orders. Suppression barrage ordered.
Oh, almost out of range on that gun then.
Suppress at that location. Set position. Suppression fire orders. Teams ready. Load light suppression shell.
Let them sing. I want that MG gone because that MG will mince my boys. Now you can put them in column, and they actually move faster in column. But as soon as they take a round or whatever, they'll spear off. And
Ready for fire orders. Suppression barrage ordered. Load them up. Suppress at that location.
see that getting mangled. But good thing I've got a billion dudes.
Suppression fire ordered. Targets. Teams ready.
I'm trying to keep all these shooters suppressed because they will fire on my dudes. Oh my god. Oh, look at this, they called reinforcements next to me. Get in there, boys, get in there.
We surrender. Brave the white. Ready yourselves. Ready. On the fire step. Stand by for orders. Take
Come on, get in the trenches, get in the trenches.
Ready yourselves.
Ready yourselves. Take firing positions.
Alright, at least we've got a bit of a foothold. And we've sort of turned the tables on them, mangled them with the trench, right?
We have new orders. Get moving.
Attention. We have new orders.
We have new orders.
Take firing position.
Alright. Oh, let's get some Indians in there. Cool. Oh, look at this, they're bringing it back. Oh no, out of range. Stop surrendering, you sooks. Alright, so yeah, so these guys will be able to fire on the trenches from there.
Stand by for orders.
And hold that down. How we going? 11 minutes left.
Attention.
See now, still having a man in the trench is probably a good strat, so I can shoot these blokes as they come in. Ah, what about this one?
Ready on the fire step.
Oh, see these dudes that I've accidentally killed them because I've sat them still in the open because I wasn't paying attention.
Ready yourselves. Get in position.
Bugger.
Looks like we're late to the party.
That's a little frustrating, isn't it?
position. Ready on the line.
We have new orders. Ready on the fire step.
We have new orders.
Now, meanwhile, they could have been attacking here. I just haven't really been paying attention. Oh, this trench is empty. Maybe that's exactly what they did. It's possible. I had my attention so focused in.
We have new orders. Position.
Right, now can you save mid-battle? I don't know if you can. 10 minutes. Nah, I don't really want the video to blow out that long. So what I might do is, can I quit? Are you sure you can quit? What I could do is, let's call a ceasefire. Ends battle immediately. Does not guarantee win or loss. So let's just call a ceasefire there, right? If anything, I'm curious. Battle in the war is won by inches, not miles. Major victory. Oh, okay, well there you go. How good is this music? I'm probably gonna get struck for it. La 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 la. Get out of here. Okay, well that worked out fairly well. And then I guess we'll see. It did say major victory, so I might have taken the territory. I'm not sure. Major victory, demoralize them. No, so it wasn't quite enough to get them out, but we've reduced morale, we've bashed them up, and that's sort of how it's played out. So it's definitely a slog along the line, which means, you know, you could probably underdog fairly well if they do break through. You could come back at them. Yeah. Anyway, so there you go. How good is this game? It's not going to be for everyone, and arguably, if you do find some of these, you know, great level 4x even, you know, things that are at scale is what I'm trying to go for. This might, you know, if you already find them to be frustratingly much of a slog because of their scale, this is absolutely not going to sell you on it. But I think this does really well, especially for the subject material that it's trying to handle. Kind of lends itself to this kind of genre, unironically. Alright, cool. So there it is. You should check it out. It should be out in the next day or two. I think maybe you can pre-order it on the, you know, and get early access. You know how games are doing that these days. But yeah. What a wonderful game. Anyway, team, might just leave it there for the time being, and I will catch you guys on the next one.